y'all, it is Hope, and today I'm working in my soul food journal. This is a journal that I made as part of the soul food class that Tiffany of Southern Gals Designs did on the Jean Oliver site. So, it's an odd-shaped little journal. I'll have to admit, as much as I love Tiffany, I did not think I was going to like the shape as long as it is, but I really do. It kind of opened my eyes and let me explore and play a little bit, and I'm going to put a link to that class below, so if you want to check it out, you can. Now, today I am trying to incorporate a magazine image into my art journal. I have a hard time with this because I don't like the general glossiness of magazine images. I know that a medium over it would probably help. I didn't do that today. You'll see what I do in a little bit. So I found this image. I believe it's out of a Vogue magazine, possibly an ad. I'm not real sure. Anyway, and I tore it down. I just used a ruler as a straight edge, and yeah, and just kind of tore it to get some like deckled edges. And then I've come in with my Deco Art Media gesso. Y'all, I have to go admit, I can't find this gesso anywhere anymore. I don't know if they've discontinued it and are going with something else or what, but I cannot find that gesso. So, yeah. So I won't be linking to that, but you know, I'm just using some gesso. Now I am putting down some Distress Oxides using a little piece of acetate. I'm trying to think what color that is. I think that's Peacock Feathers first, and I just put it on my nonstick craft sheet and sprayed it to get it all kind of, you know, juicy. And then I'm going down with, oh my gosh, I can't think what color that is. It's either honey something or, and I'm not going to find it right now, but I will try to put it below in the description box. I don't know why I can't think of what that one is. That's no good. And I'm doing it the same thing with it. And once I get those down, I am using, that's a nail buffer. That's got like the 4 different sides to buff your nails, and that's what I'm using to kind of rough up the front of that magazine image. I'm using that because it is a super fine grit, and it's not going to just tear the paper up. So I use it in some of my metalworking sometimes, and I thought it was kind of perfect. So I did that and dried my page, and now I'm coming in with this is a charcoal pencil. I'm not even sure what brand, but it's kind of a gray color. You see the pencil part of it is gray, so it's not black. It's not a super dark charcoal. It's kind of a lighter one. So, and I just did some loopy lines for movement, and I'm just rubbing that a little. And then I decided I wanted to watercolor. So I'm coming in. This is a Jane Davenport set. I think it's called Brights. And I love this set, y'all. It's so pigmented and so yummy. And it's one of the few really nice watercolor sets I have. So I'm hoping to pick up some more later. But for now, this one's pretty awesome. And I'm going to do some flowers. Now I'm really just kind of getting a general shape of flower on here. And I learned this technique also from Tiffany of Southern Gals Designs. I think she's got a video on her channel of how she makes flowers like this. And I don't know that I'm following her design exactly, but kind of the general idea of it. So I'm just kind of putting a couple different colors of pink. For some reason, I was using pink, which is not usually something I would do. So I'm putting in, maybe that's because I'm using Tiffany's design, I thought pink. And then I'm coming in with this super cheap watercolor set. Y'all, there's no brand to this. This is something I picked up at Michael's probably forever ago. You can get them just about anywhere, I'm sure. Like Walmart probably has a set like this. It's but I wanted more pink, more variations of pink, so I grabbed it so that I could get some of the lighter pinks in there as well. So that's all. And then for some reason I decided to throw a little orange in there in the center of my flowers. I don't know. And then I'm just gonna kind of loosely put some like stems and leaves in there. Nothing major. That's just to get another pop of color in there. It kind of works out in the end. They're there, but they're not super prominent. And y'all, I know this is supposed to be about the magazine image, but I spend far more time working on this watercoloring on this page than I do with the magazine image. And the magazine image is almost an afterthought. These flowers are just, I don't know, kind of floating around it. So it's kind of interesting. It's kind of all over the place. I'm basically just sharing this so that y'all can see how I created this and how I worked with that magazine image to get it in there. But yeah. So how are y'all doing? I'm letting y'all sit here and watch me paint these kind of really random abstract flowers. And this 100-day project has definitely been an adventure for me. It's all about me trying to use some of the materials I have stockpiled or have and am hoarding and saving away for a rainy day and not really using, even though they're really kind of awesome. So I'm trying to incorporate things that I've forgotten about and aren't using. And magazine images are one of those things. I have stacks of magazines in the craft room and I never grab them because I have trouble incorporating them. So I'm doing it. I'm trying to do it. So I'm going to add a little bit of detail on these flowers with a black pen. Now this, y'all, is I think it's a 2.0, like a brush pen that I picked up at Five Below. It's a set of like 5 or 6 pens at Five Below. And I really like that brush one, the big one that comes with it. And then this is a white Signo. I'll have to find a link for that as well because I think it's a smaller tip than the usual ones you can pick up at like the scrapbook or the office supply stores. And then this is just a drawing pencil that I'm getting kind of the outline of each of these flowers, trying to define the petals a little more. The black and white I kind of just used to add some highlights and lowlights, I guess. No, that's not even right, but just some black and white in there to give it a touch of something, and then the pencil's more adding the definition to this. So, and then I'm gonna just use that real quick to kind of shade the stems a little. Again, the stems and the leaves aren't really anything important. They're just kind of there to have the greenery. And then I've got my magazine image, and I kind of knew I was going to stick her over there in the right crease, so I'm going to go ahead and glue her down with my Oohoo glue stick. And I end up, because of the slickness of the magazine, it doesn't stick real great, so I end up putting, I think, the Oohoo on the magazine paper on the art journal page as well. To just kind of make sure it sticks. Now, y'all, this cracks me up because I think the song page that this is on is actually called April Showers. And of course, April showers bring me flowers, and I did this page with flowers, and I think I did it in May, and so I think it tickled me a little. So, yeah, anyway, that was just one of those things that while I was editing the pictures for this, I was like, hey. So I did not like that really harsh line going down the side. Even though I had torn it with a straight edge, it was still too straight for me. And I'm trying to use the gesso to disguise it. And well, you'll see that I really don't like how this worked. So here I've got a paintbrush and it's a dry brush. And I don't know what I was thinking. That I'm trying to make that line feel a little less straight or less, I don't know, something. So, and I grabbed, here is me cutting out a phrase from a large print novel, and I don't remember what it says, something dust, because I keep thinking of this as like Dusty Roses when I look at this page. Oh, when the dust settled is what it says. So I keep thinking of this as like Dusty Roses or Dust and Roses for some reason. And I decided to, even though that's just kind of a black and white image, which I love, I wanted to give her a little bit of a rosy cheek, so I tried to do that with my watercolors again, and see there, I just kind of rub it off, and there's nothing there, so I come back and do it again, and it's almost a little too clown-like, but I like that I carried some of that pink from the flowers over into that black and white image. So it's not the best way to do it, but it worked. And I think here I thought I was done, and I'm drying it. I'm trying to remember, because there's one point where I thought I was done, and I come back here in a second, and I'm going to be like, no. Oh, I decided I needed some more texture in the background, so I grabbed one of my hand carved stamps. This one's just a couple of X's. It's like 3 X's. They're not well done hand carved, but they're one of my favorite stamps. And I'm just using Black Soot Distress Oxide to go in there and add those in. And they really do add, I don't know, there's something about what they add to that that's great. Here's where I come back and I'm like, oh, I hate this. And so I hated that line, that just white line there. So I'm trying to make it disappear, and for some reason I decided to use the Walnut Stain Distress Oxide to do that. And I think it's because the page in the background has that kind of aged paper look, and I thought maybe, and see, it kind of does help it disappear. It does look like it's part of the page back there, so that helps a little. But what's really going to help here in a second is I'm going to come back in with my watercolors and kind of extend those flowers that got cut off over onto that. And having the gesso there is what really helps that flower stuff to, I mean, the petals, the watercolor. Words. Having the gesso there is what really makes the watercolors kind of stick there. It doesn't stick as well to the magazine, but it sticks well to the gesso. And I'll come back in here in a second with, once I get it dry, with my black and white pens to add those little details. And then after that, I'm done. Yeah, here I'm coming with my pencil, and then I'll have my black and white pens. Y'all, I don't know. Words, crazy. But that's it for this page, y'all. I hope you have good luck incorporating magazine images into yours, into your art journal, and that you like this. If you do, give me a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe, and come back later and see what else I've got going on. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye.